right, we're live.
We are live again. Hi, Wesley.
Good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning. Wesley Hamilton here and April Jackson. Thank you all for joining us. And Wes is at the gym, as you can see. And I have on my, first of all, LA Dodgers, hello, hat. Because we both, well, I just worked out. I'm assuming you worked out, Wes. You'd be getting in at like
Yeah,
2 a.m.
yeah, just a little bit. But this is my gym, so
Be
I
there.
have to be there, be here. From
You're
time.
the owner and proprietor, right?
Yeah, so from time to time, I have to come in and check out the space. It's all good. How are you?
Fair enough. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Life has been well. I was able to get a walk in after a long time. I hadn't been walking. One of my members, my fur son, has lived his 14 years of life. And so a couple of weeks ago, he's like, I've raised the boys. You've been with them for 12 years. And he's like, I'm done. So I haven't walked since then, because you know how you walk or you roll and you go through your community and you see your people, right? It was good to get out and just get to moving again. So I'm doing well. Happy June.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Almost over, but
I
hey,
know it's like the end. Um, Everyone, we wanted to get on. We are excited to continue our journey together with safe spaces. Wes and I wanted to get on for June, talk about hot topics, and there's a lot going on this month. We had Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, Wes. Thank you for being a dad.
you.
Thank you.
No, thank you so much.
What,
And
what
shout
is
out
this?
to the other fathers out there too. Um, since we didn't get on for Father's Day, but shout out to all the guys out there being men and taking care of responsibilities.
Yes. Yes, I tried to make Wes work, I was like, we could do the 21st or the 28th. And then it hit me. I was like, oh, the 21st is Father's Day.
I
So
think we've done it on Father's Day before, though. I
yeah.
feel like we have. I definitely feel like we have.
And we had a guest come on too, and he was a dad. Yeah, we have. You're right.
Yeah.
So it's good to celebrate our fathers. Then we had Juneteenth. I think we've done it on Juneteenth, or at least a day or so after Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Um, did you get into anything for Juneteenth?
Um, Not kind of, but Kansas City is like one of the host cities for the World Cup, so it's been so much happening just like within just events everywhere. So I think I got within the festivities, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just been a crazy setup here at home. So yeah, it's
Well,
been
I audience, we will share more about Juneteenth. But I was just home, which for all of you know, I'm in Pittsburgh, but I'm LA, born and raised in Berkeley, California. So we went home for my niece and nephew's graduation from fifth grade and eighth grade. And it just didn't occur to me that FIFA was there. Um, it was amazing. And then the NBA championship game played.
Mhm.
And Wes lived in Los Angeles for like
I
2 years.
did 2 years. Yes.
Yeah, so he knows the vibe. But so the whole, well, 3/5 of the family went down there from just the Jacksons, and we had a ball. Let me tell you, Wes, like my son was like, "Let's go get boba in Koreatown." Okay, Mexico just won first round, party, like all these parties, right? Like I don't know. I know Kansas City's doing it, and there are a lot of cities: New York, New
Yeah,
Jersey, Houston, I think Dallas.
yeah, Dallas,
Um, I mean,
Seattle.
it's so beautiful, and oh God, we had so much fun. So I was sharing. I taught a class. Lululemon they're
Nice.
doing a summer series. So everyone, look at your Lululemon in your neighborhood, your community. I am a legacy ambassador with them. which I do represent because Lulu had some ups and downs and still some ups and downs with their DEI and, being a big business. Um, Colton is one of our instructors, and he has outward disabilities, and I supported him, and I also taught, and I was able to share with anybody like what invisible disabilities can look like too, because 2 weeks ago I couldn't walk because I was in so much pain. We had over 200 people in the street in front of the Lululemon, and I taught yoga. And what was so cool,
I love that.
the whole point was talking about accessibility. And so Colton and I co-taught, and what I shared with them, it's like, this is what the world is. I had just been in New York in April. This is what our country is. I had just been in New York, and I remember getting caught up at MSG when we got off the subway because the Knicks were finishing the playoff series. And I was just like, why is there so much purple? I mean, orange and blue. I don't understand because, I'm used to purple and gold. But just the energy there was electric. Then I'm in LA in June, and we're watching World Cup. Mexico's winning. United States is winning. We're eating in Santa Monica, and people from Turkey are caravanning, like tons and tons of cars, flags waving all out the car. I mean, it was beautiful. And then to have 200 people just in the street, all sizes, all shapes, all colors, all abilities, all ages. That's what our world is about. That's what our country is about. It's not about all the shenanigans that are going on, even though that's reality. And there's a sector of us that are allowing that to happen. But community is what it's really about. And I'm talking, I said world, but you really traveled the world. I'm just talking, I was on East Coast, West Coast, and in between. So Wes has been traveling the whole world. But were you out of the country for Juneteenth, or you were here?
No, I was here. But when I think about, I was talking about, there's just been a buzz and like even conversations in our local area about local businesses not getting, like getting sales and things with the tourists that are coming in. Certain districts, of course, party. So all the bars and, clubs are definitely pretty filled up. But because I've traveled, I feel like I'm well traveled now, and I don't know, like, but that's how I
You did the whole Asian experience. I think you did South Korea, Japan. Did you go to China too?
No, I haven't. Taiwan, yeah.
Okay.
And it's just going to other countries and knowing how excited we can be from America to go somewhere and our currency is different. To have an expectation of what people from different countries will be able to do when they come to a country whose currency is kind of like above theirs, from a larger, like, because I don't know what the exchange rate here is going to be, but I know like it's different there. And so I've liked being in spaces where people understand that and they create a good time. You know what I mean? Like they create more of a vibe and a party and not expectation of selling a product, but to let people see what our cities are about. And I think that Kansas City, outside of kind of that conversation, I've seen so many pockets here that just created great moments of celebration. And like you've seen a lot of people, like we had the Orange Parade that came here recently with the Netherlands, and so it was about it was like 36,000 people or something in our downtown area. But what they said was like, some of those individuals were people that were local and they just kind of came and jumped in on the fun, which I thought was pretty cool because now, like, you're seeing, like you said, like people are being able to experience the world being at home. But when you come at it from not so much of a capitalist like kind of perspective of like what we can gain from the individual it creates a better space. And I've seen on like the news, I've seen people make posts, and they've just been loving it. For me though,
Mm-hmm.
for me though, it's been hard to navigate a lot of the World Cup activities here in Kansas City. There's not a lot of representation into like where I can go, how can I access, and it becomes a bit intimidating. And I was telling someone, I said maybe because I've been now to Asia where the things that I'm looking for aren't readily available in the spaces here, and
Yeah.
it creates like this thought of like how much value do we have, because again, like I can go to a space, but if there's not an allocated place for me to be, then I feel like I can be bombarded or stampeded because it's so many people, so much celebrating, so many things that can happen.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's kept me really like looking at it from afar, not so much engaged. Like I do see myself. We just announced, I think Colombia and Congo maybe are playing next Friday. So I'm gonna try to go get tickets to the game and like do that since I have been to like Colombia a couple times, and I feel
Can
like
you afford the tickets in LA? The tickets were 1,200 for the cheapest ticket, way up in the nosebleed. Talk about
so
accessibility.
my drive to the gym today, April, was trying to talk to myself into this is a once in a lifetime
It
experience.
is. It is.
Whatever it is, like Wesley, like that's because I've seen the things I would love to experience being centered around the games and the stadiums. You know what I mean? And like most of the people that are coming in are going to, like, if they're coming into the city, they're going to the game. And so
Yeah.
and I don't know, the Congo is here. Like I don't know, like that's something like it's
It
pretty.
is a once in a lifetime experience. I think it's an investment, right? It's an investment in experience. It's an investment
It
in
is.
culture. Like you said, cultures are here. Um,
I mean,
that's
hopefully
like when we
somebody.
went. Hmm?
I was about to say, hopefully one of the city leaders are listening. They could just say, "Hey, Wes, we got an extra ticket for you."
Wink. Influencer you all, like let him go. But I do think that's important because there has to be like again, it's community, right? Um,
Absolutely.
and and I do think it's an investment. Like when we went home, well, you know where I stay. I stay at that place in Marina Del Rey because my family will come there. We'll go swimming. Your daughter came and swam with us. We'll go to the
Absolutely.
beach. And then there's a park right down the street where they had watch parties every time a game was on. The hotel had watch parties. Like there was so much free stuff. And somebody was saying the other day, they're like, I didn't know you watched soccer. And I said, my memories of soccer are, besides the kids played, my nephews playing, but my mom would take us to the Los Angeles Coliseum way back in the day and as kids, and we would go see a soccer game and then they had fireworks afterwards. So I was always like, ooh, the fireworks. So I would watch the soccer game and I appreciated it, but we saw free fireworks at the Coliseum. And even that, like a local city game, just had so much energy and so much fervor. So I agree with you, Wes. If you invest or if somebody so donates tickets to you, like you said, these city folks, you gotta have some tickets. It's once in a lifetime.
It's once in a lifetime, and I think hopefully that it's not the last time. I've seen so much positive reviews from people that are coming and visiting the country for the first time. And I think that just speaks to maybe how we can show up and represent like something like this. So I don't know. I'm excited. I've never really been a person that watched soccer or football. We got to say it
Yeah,
right.
it's gonna say right, football, football,
But
real football.
because I've traveled so much, it's something that I've seen happening. In other countries. I've seen the big stadiums that they have. And the sports that they play within them, right? And this is one of them. This is a major sport. So
This is an international sport. American football is unique to America. And although it's gone international and people watch it internationally, like football is an ancient, that's why it's so beautiful to see like the Mexicans winning. Like it is an ancient sport.
it
Um,
is.
now I'm little trivia fact, telling my age, maybe, maybe not. But I was in LA because I was born and raised in 94 when the World Cup was in Los Angeles in
Oh,
94.
nice, nice.
Man, so much fun. Mind you, I didn't go to a game, but I sure had a great time
It's yeah,
participating in the
it's a
event.
it's a time to be. I mean, I was just telling one of people on our team here yesterday. I said, regardless of what, I find myself just being out or trying to be out, at some point throughout the week so that I can be involved in some of the activities that are happening because the celebrations are just like those are once in a lifetime. Just seeing how people are coming and and then on the other end, like I'm learning so much about countries that now I have to visit because
Oh,
like
yeah.
you know I, yeah, April, it's been like huge educational piece for me too, because you're learning so much about places that you just don't pay attention to.
There's
Just
a whole world out there, right?
yeah,
I was,
so
I'm looking at my phone because my son sent something to us in the family chat, and it was a woman who was talking about, I think it was it Haiti and Portugal? And she was like, "Do you know the significance?" I think it was the Portugal game. Um, she said, "Do you know how significant it was?" And you're talking about how you're learning about other countries, and it was like two countries that were enslaved, like Africans were taken to those countries. That's why there's black folks there. Like so many people ended up in the West Indies.
yeah.
And Haiti is the only country that was able to free itself. And we see all the oppression Haiti is under. And my 19-year-old sends that to us. And I took it for granted. I was like, "Well, you've heard of Toussaint, right?" And he was like, "No, mom, they don't teach me that in school." And I just took it for granted that maybe he was learning that in history and he didn't.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's a way to learn, and the ways that she shared it is by sharing about the match itself and how
Hmm.
Cape Verde just made their way through, and it's been wonderful. So yeah, where are we going? What other countries are we going to? We just got to make a list.
I'm just trying to get these festivities out the way so I can hop back on the plane. I don't know, like I'm so ready to. Asia was amazing, like I'm starting to share some content from the trip, but I started in Thailand because it was the least accessible. I did my research. Well, first of all, let me start here. I didn't plan my trip. Like I didn't forward plan it. I planned it like a week before I left.
Okay,
So
just
I
on a
was just,
whim.
yeah, I wanted to see like how hard is it for a person with disability, particularly a wheelchair user, to plan a spontaneous trip out the country. Um, and of course, I was open to obstacles and things, but it was we're so it's used as lightly, but in a way. But it seems like we're forced to pre-plan everything because we're needing to make sure everything is right. But for me, hospitality is just what it is. So like
Right.
if you're paying for a service, there should already be a system in place that helps you regardless if you're a day before, or a week before or
Yeah,
6 months
that's true.
before.
That's true.
And of course we got the beauty of AI. So I tapped into my boy Claude, and I just kind of had it help me navigate what an itinerary would look like. And I explored all these different countries, and I was like, you know what? All right, I'm gonna do Asia. but where I want to go. And so Thailand was an experience in itself. Um, but all the accessibility and like really feeling like Thailand, I felt seen. They definitely wasn't best on accessibility, but it was a great experience to like enter the journey.
Yeah.
Um,
And a lot of
but
people go to Thailand for healing. Like I
yeah,
know in the mindfulness space, so many people go for yoga retreats and, Thai therapies. And so it's interesting, like you said, it was the least accessible.
I mean, well, so it was accessible to certain things. In Thailand, I saw Braille everywhere.
Mm,
So for me, like my access for a wheelchair might not have been as accessible, but the Braille made me feel like there was some acknowledgement when it came to access and disability.
yeah.
Um, but on the healing side, oh, hey, bro, I got massages and
Mm.
like I went and played with elephants and fed elephants, and
Oh,
like it was, yeah. And
grounding, right?
I did all of this by myself, and I was intentional. But Taiwan, South Korea, and Japan, they really was next level when it just made me feel like, and this is how I felt. I said, with all the work I do over here in the States with advocacy, awareness, it didn't make sense over there, April. There was like no space. Like, if I was gonna be like being an advocate, I was just explaining to maybe someone about how to maybe clear up a space, but they were genuinely already being proactive on making sure that there was space created for me.
Mm,
Um, there was signage everywhere where I didn't have to really ask questions on like, where do I go? Like, you remember I was just sharing like about some of the activities here where I'm curious about where I go. Like, everywhere I went, there was just signage. They had this thing that I loved. That was the priority elevators, and they're just like, a, they just no matter where you are, there was a priority elevator, and the priority
mm,
elevator was for people with disabilities, women and children, and the elderly. Um,
mm,
and it was just, it was a picture everywhere you went, and there was signs that would say, if you're in, if there's a person that represent one of these priorities in this space, then they get first dibs on whatever that access was. um, but no one like clouded the elevators. Like, there was like lines of people focused on their elevator, but the priority elevators were always empty. And it
mm.
was just like, no one, like, yeah, whatever it represented, we're not going to be selfish to rush ourselves or life to be able to not accommodate the next person. Instead,
Right.
it was always available. So the subways, all of them were accessible. I never had an issue with an elevator. There was like, I mean, I navigated underground more than I was above. Like,
Yeah.
it was so cool. And again, like, every country was different, and but all of them had the same thing in common. They see, not just they see me, but they just see people,
Right.
and
Whatever
when
people need, whatever the human being needs.
yeah, and we're gonna make that just man, listen. I'm over here like, how am I dealing? Why has life has been hard in its own ways because of the disability and access. But when
Yeah.
you go somewhere else, you realize like it doesn't have to be as hard as it is. And it just really made me think about, what we choose not to do, not what we can't do.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we're voicing change that has already happened. It's just not within our space. Uh, and again, like, I think it wasn't just about like people so much with like, well, yes, physical disabilities, but the accommodation came from, you know, not. It didn't matter how old you were still out. I think that was valuable for me. I've seen families, with their 80, 90-year-old grandparents out, pushing the wheelchairs,
And I
navigating the
think that is
spaces.
so important. We talk about ageism because I am of the generation where people were starting to espouse ageism
Yeah.
onto me and my generation. And why? Like, human beings aren't disposable like that. Like, there's so much value in taking care of others, especially as they age. So it's interesting for you to say that, like, you just saw it. It wasn't a big deal.
No, I didn't even see a nursing home. And of course, like I didn't understand
Mhm.
every,
Yeah,
word, but shout out to my meta glasses because that was also a way I navigated. The glasses translated for me. So a
oh,
lot of times,
really? Like language?
hmm and so
Oh,
I would just say like, "Hey Meta, can you translate what I'm looking at into English?" And it would just read the sign. So a lot of times I just
at the front door. I need to get some I'm looking at my list of things to buy.
absolutely, like it was so good, and so I was looking around, but no, just structurally things were built for people to still live in their homes, still have their everyday lives, and not have like maybe some certain barriers that do make age become more of a burden. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
sometimes like even like there were a lot of places that had steps, don't get me wrong, but there was so many flat surfaces. The curb cuts just looked so different. Like I said, the priority elevator, so you never had to question like what that looked like that stress sometimes of like not being able to get to an elevator or get access to a building. That really wasn't there. um,
Mhm.
and yeah, like I just they did still have certain issues, right? Like everything, wheelchair sizes are different, body sizes are different in Asia. So,
Yeah,
when
I've heard
you
that a lot. Like, don't be big, don't be my size, which they consider
yeah,
big.
so when you're like looking at hotels and like shower chairs, they got smaller by the country.
Mm,
And so that's like something for people to be aware of. It's like it's not so much that they're not fitting for you, it's just that they're fitting for what's culturally normal to them, and that's normally smaller bodies, so they make smaller things. So
yeah.
certain elevators wouldn't probably be wide enough for a bulky power chair that we have over here in the States.
Mm,
So it was things like that. But well, in Japan, you were able to rent power chairs from different companies, and like that's like
really?
like Vegas has scooters and stuff, but no, you can actually get wheelchairs over here in Japan, and it was just like really cool to see. Yeah, just the accommodations. Yeah, April, I loved it. I loved it. I think I did great with just going. I needed to go. I don't know why. But some just told me like, I don't know. I think it was we talk so much about accessibility, but we can only talk from our perspective. But it's so
Yeah.
powerful when we can see the world and the world's perspective, especially if it's valuable to what we're doing here. And I think like that was something big for me. Like I don't want to argue about something that's already been done. I could just like,
That's a good point. It's not like it's so, like out of
yeah, I'm just gonna
out
give
of
you a
nowhere. Like,
I'm gonna
this
just
is the
give you a
reality.
reference. When I was in New York, I tried to do the subway, and like Google told me about an accessible subway station. As soon as I got there, it was shut down and blocked off. And
I
I
was gonna
remember,
ask you how you felt about the subway system in Japan compared to New York.
yeah, no, like in Japan, man. Listen, once I figured it out, April, I was on the subway, and trust me, it's not a subway over there. It's a train or a metro. Just so
Yeah.
you know, because every time I said subway, they pointed to the restaurant. I'm like, "Where's the subway?" They're
Oh,
like,
that's
"Oh." I'm
interesting.
like, "Hold on, I don't want."
Learning different languages. New York is a hustle to get around, period.
So one of my best experiences that I can use is I was in Taiwan, and this day it was a rainy day. And in my mind, I'm like, man, this is like one of the last days I'm here. I had all these plans to go to the mall and stuff, and I just wasn't gonna be able to do it. So I said, man, I'm gonna just try the subway station, and it was one right by my hotel. So that was the good thing about AI. AI made sure that I was close to all the accessible subway stations, or found a hotel that was close to one. And so I get on the thing, I go downstairs. April, there's a whole mall. Man, this subway had like this station had like an underground mall. Just from like it never ended. And it was like full
That
of
makes
like
sense.
local shops and arcades. And then it was attached to like the train. And then you got on the train, then it was attached to another mall. And so long story short, like I got to experience this whole like city underground, and every area that I needed to go to that was above ground was attached to the subway.
I
So
love that.
I'd never, maybe once or twice, I got outside and got a little sprinkle on me,
Oh,
right?
because you said it was raining outside and you never even had to go
Yeah,
outside.
but I never really had to go outside. And I thought about all of the times that I stay at home when the weather is bad here. And just, and again, like I know every city that we have don't have these stations, but it was even not just the accessing it. It was that I could get off on every stop and be able to get out of there. It wasn't like a limited, like, oh, you only
Yeah,
got.
you can only get off at this stop and that stop. New York has that. And I was thinking New York also has like they have that big mall area and Philly has that too, where you can get on the subway and go to Amtrak, go to the train.
Yeah,
Philly's actually redoing theirs, and I think it's connected to their convention center, but it's not prevalent in every city,
yeah.
throughout our country. And yeah, it's not that accessible.
But Japan was amazing. I did the bullet train. I went to did Osaka, and then went and did Tokyo. Tokyo was like the last. Tokyo was such, yeah. Whatever they say about Tokyo, they're right. Like it was the best time, and so piggyback a little bit for someone that is a survivor of gun violence,
Hmm.
right? Like if it was so refreshing to not hear no guns, no sirens. Like it was rare that I heard a siren, no matter what country I went into. And I found myself being able to navigate the streets late solo. I even seen kids 4 or 5 years old catching the train by
Well,
themselves.
they do that. My friend was in Tokyo for 2 weeks a few months ago, and she was like, "You have to go." And my sister and I have been planning to go, but I've read a few articles where the kids, they're like these cute little backpacks they have,
Yep, yep,
and I took the bus in LA when I was like 7 and 8. 10, we used to take the bus, times have changed. But no, I've heard in Tokyo, like they can go by themselves and get on the
yeah.
train and go to school and come home, and everyone feels comfortable and they're going to be safe.
Yeah, it was maybe because I was American. People would tell me like, "You should be careful." There were people that tell me like, "Be careful," in this.
And that's
But
fair.
but in my mind, I'm like, man, I could kind of, I don't know. I've lived around a lot of threatening like energy, so I feel like I can feel it, but I
Right.
couldn't feel it. Like I had one guy tell me I needed to cut my headphones off on the train, but because they were too loud. Um,
So he could hear the noise.
But culturally, you don't have anything on, or it's low tone. You don't even talk in the elevators. They got signs that say no talking in the elevator. And
Yeah.
so it was a lot of structure, but not negative structure. Like if you had a hallway, it had arrows to tell you walk on this side, I walk on this side. The wheelchair roll on this side. Like it
Kind
never
of like
like
universal design, right? In a way,
it
it's
was
just
it
like
was all universal.
ride. And that's
It's hard,
pretty cool. And
it's
I
hard for
will
me to
say,
say.
oh, I heard you. And I was going to say, I noticed that being home in LA for the World Cup, like you're familiar. We were on Western and Wilshire partying in the street, like hundreds of people, because the block party was a block
Yeah,
away on the widescreen TV, and it felt fine, and
yeah,
sometimes I think it takes community like that. Or like when I was teaching in Pittsburgh, down Walnut, 200 something people. People were crossing the street in the middle of the class. People were walking down the sidewalks. Like it was just people were in the coffee shop. I feel like just allow us to be. We're not like, I wish we were more like Japan, where everything is just like universal design. And like you said, we can get there. Like obviously others are doing it. That book Abundance I told you about a few months ago, it talks
Yeah.
about that. It talks about how Japan was able to be successful building a bullet train, and we have so much bureaucracy and government interference that capitalism, we can't do simple things that could help make our lives so much better. And I really appreciate you talking about the lived experience. Like, how would you know? You know about it, you read about it, you hear about it, but you actually immersed yourself in the experience.
And yeah, I think I will always just be forever changed. I know there's a option. I know that there's another way. I know that there's access. Like I don't know. It did it definitely did something different. You know. Yeah, and I think like I just before I went to Asia, I had just came back from Peru and Colombia. I went like the beginning of April, um, and I had the same feeling there. It's really the people, it's really the mindset, and it's really like what we're willing to do over here. And I hope like just from what I've learned, I can come back and share these views and really give people information, but a level of enlightenment, like of what can be, not so
Mm.
much of like, oh, they're just doing this over there and we're just like, no, but like, how can we take this knowledge and change the infrastructure over here? How can we be a little bit more conscious? There were small things like on like all the steps that I saw, like most of them. Well, in Japan, they had ramps everywhere. They had portable ramps. They had ramps they was carrying on a back. April, like they was just throwing
Really?
ramps down. Like it was crazy just how efficient it was for them just to have a ramp. But like when I was in Taiwan and Korea, like if you had a step, they just had like black and yellow caution tape, right?
Mm.
That was just put on there. So every time I would rub, I'm like, oh, okay, I see. So around my gym, around our mats, I came back and I was like, oh, we need black and yellow caution tape
So
because
you made it practical.
absolutely, because it just made so much sense. And then once we had people start coming through the door, they're like, oh, this makes so much sense because people would maybe trip over it from time if they don't see it on a black mat and a black floor. But yeah, it was just like small things, and signage was like a big thing, and like not being afraid to throw a arrow or a symbol on the ground and think, like it was just. I don't think I had ever since I've been in this chair for 14 years. I don't think it had ever been so easy for me
Hmm.
for me to move around. Like I even like I like to drive, but I even then I'm in my head. I'm like, these cars is ghetto at this point. I don't even want a car. Like if
Yeah.
if I drive because I have to, but I don't want to transfer in and out all the time. And I've experienced something that's allowed me to just navigate, without doing that. So now I'm like, all right, I need to be looking at like cities that like we have a streetcar here. So I've even looked at like the areas around the streetcars. Like maybe I should just try to consider like living in this area where I
And
can
that's
have that
that's
experience.
so economical. I know I've even been thinking about with one of my jobs, it's a nonprofit, so we can get bus passes for $14, which a bus pass is $96 a month, Wes, out in Pittsburgh. I was like, who can afford if you're like on the bus? I mean, if you're saving gas, it's affordable, but that seems like a lot of money to me, $100 a month for a bus pass. But I've been thinking about taking the subway because in New York, I was able to navigate it, but I have to drive to the mall to get on the T to get on the subway. And that kind of defeats the purpose.
Don't it though? Don't it though?
And again, that's the world we kind of live in. When you move to a suburb, people fight to not have accessible transportation because they feel like others will move into their neighborhood, and that's not community based, you know?
Yep, it's not. And I'm just, I'm now, now I'm on the fence because I'm like, I want to travel the rest of the world, but I want to go where it's like, I want to go back to Asia because it was just so easy to navigate, you
Yeah.
know? So like now I'm just like, I'm
Well, I
like on
definitely say go back to Asia just to visit, and then you could go somewhere else. You got a whole life.
well, you know, then the other good part was like, I mean, I was on Queer Eye, right? So Queer Eye did an episode in Japan,
Mm.
or a season in Japan. So once I got to Japan, I had people meet up with me,
Oh, that's
and they
cool.
took me to local spots. So I felt like a tourist, but I didn't. You know, in certain areas, Korea had a very large, like, Black African American presence from the military that I
Right.
that I didn't know about. So that made I didn't really feel different in Korea. You know, like I didn't get a lot of stares and stuff like that. Like
Mhm. Mhm.
I didn't get it rarely anywhere where I went over there, which was different for me too. You know, like a lot of people, yeah, I was more embraced. I was more embraced everywhere I went. And the bowing, I'm sorry, like the bowing, oh man,
Paying homage to people, right? Like
oh my
showing
God.
respect.
Yeah, I had this saying that if we respected everybody that we came in contact with, how could we hate?
Yeah.
Right?
It doesn't mean you have to like everybody and be their best friend, but
No,
it's just like honoring another person.
and that's all I saw, no matter where I went, and it was just like amongst each other, like yeah, strangers. It didn't matter, and it was just like, yeah, this is yeah. So
So some key takeaways I hear, like it's the little things that can make a difference. Like you said, you came back, you put that caution tape on areas that needed to be um, more visible to people. And that's stuff we could all do in our own homes. Like I was thinking about that just now. It's like it's something I can do even in my own house or, something. Um, and this part about technology, like with so much going on with tech, and I work tech adjacent, but you can use it as a tool. Like you said, I was able to do an itinerary, and instead of you having to open up 200 different books and read, and you would do all that, but you can maximize your time and be more efficient. And I never even thought about the meta glasses being able to interpret and stuff. I think there's a
um,
healthy way to use
yeah,
technology to support you.
absolutely. I think that it was. I think yeah, like I think there was like not a it helped me in so many ways. Like even like when I was in Osaka, because I did hotels and Airbnbs, right?
Okay.
But when I went to Osaka, I was able to find an Airbnb that was a wheelchair. It was a wheelchair accessible home.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So, um, and the owner of the home offered free transportation as long as I paid for the tolls and gas.
What?
And so he just took me everywhere I wanted to go.
That's
Um,
amazing.
and pushed me wherever I needed to go to get to like different like oh man but I would never found that if it wasn't for AI because
See.
I would have just got a hotel and but I told AI I wanted a certain experience and it was like oh if you want this experience in Osaka you should try this out and then it like yeah it just helped me like the communication I sent everybody emails but it found all the emails and then helped me send them all and so it just made the
Listen, Claude and Meta and Airbnb, we are taking sponsors.
I'm telling
And Wes also wants to go to the game. If you send me back to LA or is it New York? Where's the final game going to be?
I don't know where the final I know we have a quarterfinal here but I don't know where the finals
We need to
I
look
don't
it up.
know yeah same
Call Wes and I have Claude. Let me know. And for our, circling back, for our brothers and sisters who are disabled and the intersectionality of all of that, it can be a level playing field for us if we can utilize the tools or have our support systems help use those tools as well, because we can access more information. We can access more support through using like Claude. I'm not saying like everybody just get on AI, but use it as a tool in addition to everything else. Like you
Yep.
had human experience, Wes, on top of saying, okay, this is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. Give me suggestions, right? Because it'll tell you, and then you could be like, well, no, I don't want to stay here. I want to stay
Yep.
there. I don't want to spin this. I want to spin that. And it's just a tool that you customize and make it for your own self. And
Yep.
I think it's kind of cool you went by yourself. Like that's
I mean,
motivating.
it was like even like the temples. I'm like, hey, what temples are accessible? So I didn't have to go and be like, oh, I'm gonna go to this temple, and then it doesn't have access because it's so old they haven't built around, And so it
Mhm.
was stuff like that where it just helped me navigate, and again, like I felt like I don't want to say I was called over there, but something in my mind was just like, you should go to Asia. And I talked about it for a little second, and I said, all right, I just, in my body just tells me to just go. And while I was in Taiwan, I was headed to a temple, and a guy, and it's crazy, April, but this guy came up to me, and like by this time, this is my third, no, this is my second, no, second, this is my second country, and by this time, I've ran into a lot of people that are just like, "What made you come here?" Right? Like, what made you come here? Especially like in Taiwan, they're like, people
Interesting.
don't, Americans don't travel to Taiwan much,
Mhm.
so they was like, for us to see you, like, what, like, how did you learn about us? And I'm like, I didn't really know about you. AI helped me figure you out because really
Mm,
it did. I didn't know anything about Taiwan. Like, I knew
really?
Thailand, I knew like China, but I didn't know like,
Taiwan has a big history with America and China. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
I think I did, but I didn't. Right.
right.
And so the guy just came up and he looked at me, April, and he said, I hope you enjoy your journey.
Hmm.
And I was like, all right, I don't, at the end of the day, he spoke to me in a way that let me know that I belonged there. It didn't make me feel like I was questioning on why I was there, but, and I was headed to a temple that day. And I went, and I never seen him after, right? Like we were going the same way, and then he just disappeared. And I tell you, April, I'm like, yo, I was so excited after that. I was excited after that because I just, yeah, I didn't question like, am I doing the right thing by being over here? I'm away from work, I'm away from home, like, but that was like a answer for me. Yeah, it was good.
I
So,
like that. I
like,
typed that down. I'm gonna write something off of that. I hope you enjoy your journey.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
hope you enjoy your journey, and I'm like, oh no, oh, now I'm really gonna enjoy it. Like I was already loving it, but and every moment after that, I just embraced it as if it was a part of the journey I was supposed to be on, and you know, and it was meant. And then to come back here, and then we started having these games and all of that, and it's just like so many things have resonated because of the way I've explored. So I'm
I
excited. I'm happy. My heart
good.
is.
Yay, your cup and heart are full. And that's what, I think it's a good thing that we can share with others. Like we talk about mindfulness and mindfulness practices. It doesn't have to look like you sitting and chanting and meditating and journaling and, touching grass, as people say, and all that. All those things are important. But the way you can break up patterns is by doing something different, right? And Wes traveled across the world. I traveled from coast to coast. We can also travel by watching something, a movie or
Absolutely.
reading. It's like it doesn't mean that you have to. Oh, sorry. It doesn't mean that you have to. We don't always have means at certain times to do certain things. And so we want to encourage us all, especially as we finish June and we, celebrate Juneteenth and all this stuff. Like when we explore the freedom that Black folks have and don't have.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
It's really
Um,
important to just let yourself be free.
Absolutely, and and that was probably the word that I used the most while I was in Asia. I felt free, and
Mm,
just for the moment, I just felt free. I felt free to do what I wanted to do. Like, yeah, it cost money, so I won't say I was free off of just like not spending, but at the same time, I felt free enough to be able to just be free, you
yeah.
know, but just to kind of go back on the Juneteenth. Shout out to the Obama Center. Like I
I
have not,
cannot wait to go.
I have
Hot
not. Oh
topics,
my,
right?
yeah. Oh my God, isn't it like it's breathtaking for me. I wanted to go so bad to the grand opening,
And it
and
opened on Juneteenth. It opened that
yeah,
weekend.
yeah.
It's on our
So
list to go to Chicago, and I've been. It's so funny. I did one of those things like, "What states have you been in?" And I didn't check Illinois. I was like, "No, I've been to Chicago a few times, but not hanging out in
yeah,
Chicago." I've stayed at a hotel overnight. I've flown in a few times. I cannot wait to go, Wes.
yeah. Chicago. I've been a couple of times, but this has more intention. Like it's
And
like,
it's in the South Side.
yeah, I know, right? Oh man. So I did see that there's the public library is built into it. So
Mhm.
just because when I looked up tickets, it seemed like they're just pushed out further.
And
But you can,
time.
but you can still experience the library if you end up going and it was booked from the ticket. So you can still go to the center and go into the library.
Oh, and then just make your way through.
Yeah, yeah. You probably won't be able to see like some of the things that the tickets would allow you, but you can still go to the center though. So like, at first when I saw it, it just in my mind I thought it was just a full museum, but I saw that it was
They have parks.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Gardens, they have basketball courts, they have all libraries.
I seen a lady that I've worked with that has a disability. I seen her company was one of the companies that helped them with the accessibility around it too.
Oh, really?
So yeah, and so I'm really excited to really just to see like yeah,
So
just
you
see
think
the
it's universal, like they developed it through universal design?
absolutely. I think that they can't think of it's like Vans Consulting. I can't think of it, but I'll probably share her post on LinkedIn so that we can see
Okay.
it. But yeah, they have a couple different pillars they go off of that I really admire. That is just not about access, but they look at a lot of different areas. So I think they were intentional, and their post showed that they kind of visited the space like a week before the grand opening. So they were doing like probably a run through of the accessibility, and they gave it top rating. So I'm looking forward to what that looks feels like.
So
So
that sounds like a field trip. I do plan to go before, I'm hoping to go before the end of summer or definitely in the fall. I have a friend who's from Chicago, and I've heard so many wonderful things about Chicago.
yeah,
Not in the dead of winter like Pittsburgh or even Kansas City, but I've heard in the summer and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, the
I've been in
Obamas really came out.
I've been in the winter in Chicago, and it's not pleasant.
It's
So
not a pretty sight, huh? Because you get
yeah,
that lake effect. And all the presidents, how much history was there? Like 4 living presidents
yeah,
together under one roof. And again, that's another example of humanity, right? Like Democrats, Republicans, all the women, multiple degrees, doctors, lawyers. Um, it, yeah, that's beautiful to have that center. It makes me. So I lived in Atlanta for 12 years, and the Carter Center is there, and it's such a communal
I
spot.
don't think
Like
I've
it's
been there.
beautiful. Yeah, Jimmy Carter. It's in Atlanta.
Okay,
Um, so having like Obama's, and I guess the Bushes are in Texas,
yeah, I
and
think they're in Texas.
Biden's probably, I'm thinking Delaware. I don't know if he's like in Pennsylvania. I
But
guess we need to
definitely,
check.
We definitely got to explore Chicago. I really haven't explored Atlanta, so I think I need to go and do that. I
But
actually
you know
just,
how I get with you. I'm like, what?
I got family down there, so I've been to Atlanta. I've partied in Atlanta, but I haven't went like to much of the history. Like the
Oh,
South, the
museums.
South always is gonna have me feeling away. I don't know what that is, but it does something to me going further. I just went to South Carolina. I had to bury my step pops, and
Oh,
like,
yeah. I'm sorry to hear that. I did see that.
and so like we went back through um, Atlanta, but I went to Myrtle Beach though, so that was a good like
We like
breathtaking.
Myrtle Beach. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
right.
going down Auburn, you really like getting the history, go down Auburn. I don't know how accessible it is, I'll be honest. I know there's sidewalks, but visiting Dr. King's house where he was born and raised, Ebenezer Baptist Church is down the way. The King Center is across the street. Jimmy Carter's library is
Okay,
there. Um, Going down Peachtree, the museums are amazing in Atlanta, amazing. So there is a lot of culture there. Um, so, friends, we're coming to a close, and I guess we all need to be going to Taiwan, South Korea, Japan, always Los Angeles. You can visit Kansas City, Chicago,
yep,
and Atlanta are places we've talked about that. We have seen accessibility. We have seen a lack of, but there is a reason to be there and to go have some experiences. And even if you're not into soccer, we think you all should watch some football to become a part of the fervor of what the world is about. Even in this time of war and tragedy and just so much harshness, I think we all needed a reason to celebrate. So let's keep that going.
absolutely. No, this was great, April. I think, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I feel really renewed after Asia. I have a whole different thought of life now, and I can't wait to just more talks with you and like we can share what that looks like. I don't, yeah.
Let's
There's
do it.
It's not, the sky is the limit. We had a cutoff song. We'd be playing, the Tourist Big right now. Like the
You
sky
know
is.
what? So let me write that down. Notes. Lorena, make note. Lorena's working behind the scenes, everyone, but we're gonna start adding music to our chat because it's time to like amp it up a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
you've met my sister. Wes has met like a lot of my family, and we've been talking about going to Japan. So I'll let you know.
Oh
And
man, let me know. Listen, I'll come back.
oh, you can come with us, and you can show us around too.
I will come back.
Yeah.
I will be back. I could just come back when y'all go too. I'm telling
Every person I've heard has said that, and I even had a friend in college. Her husband played abroad, like he played basketball throughout Europe years ago. Her favorite country was Japan. I think they did 2 or 3 seasons in Japan. All time, she was like, "That's her number one country in all of the world to this
you.
day."
Yeah, Japan is it. It was it. It's hard and to know that it's on an island. Like I think we forget that too. And so Japan has so much, not just culture and community,
Oh,
but
I love the ocean.
nature and beauty and water and like, yeah, it's like next level. But if you want to be in the future, you gotta go to Taiwan. I'm sorry, I never thought that. I thought I was in the future. That yeah, I
All
yeah.
right, then we need to go to Taiwan too. Well,
So
friends, get
it
in
should.
nature. You could get in nature, open a window if you can, get
Absolutely.
outside. Like I just went for a walk today. Um, use tools that benefit you. Join Wes and I again next month. We will be on. I kind of was like, let's take the summer off, but I feel like we should kind of just keep this momentum going. Um, and remember, in honor of what we did this month, Juneteenth, like communicate, let folks know what's going on because folks they didn't know they were free for a long
Right.
time. And that's what Juneteenth was a celebration of. We didn't even celebrate Juneteenth for a long time. They only did so in Texas. So let's communicate and let's keep each other in community. And Wesley, I'm so happy to see you. My heart's always full when we have this time.
Likewise.
All right. Keep Sunday Safe Spaces on your calendar, and we'll reach out soon. Bye, everyone. Ooh, 11 o'clock, right